Okay, so I just want to show you a couple of samples. I'm going to start with the white paper assignment. Your white paper assignment is going to be due this Wednesday at 12 noon, so please make sure you jot that down. Um, there are no examples in your textbook, so I thought that it would be helpful if I show you just a previous example from one of the last semesters that I've taught. So here we have a student who's titled her white paper. Let's look. How can we decrease pollution in urban areas without disrupting day-to-day life? So you know automatically that her topic that she wants to choose is decreasing pollution in urban areas. Very good, very focused. She has her name, she has white paper, she has the date that it's due. If we go down, she has an introduction section, which is definitely a mandatory section to have. In your introduction section, you should detail your problem. You should show why it's a problem. You should offer just a little bit of insight and perhaps some statistics showing that it's an issue amongst your population. So your population should also be in there to some extent. Going down, she has a couple of other sections that you don't need. She just added extra sections to make it a little bit more detailed. But going on to the next required section would be models of success. Please keep in mind that this is very similar to your paradigm section. So after you start doing a little bit of research, you should start to think, okay, I'm looking at fixing, the amount of drinking that's going on in New Brunswick, especially amongst the college population. What you might do is look at other universities that have an issue with drinking, and you might say, okay, I'm looking at UCLA, similar population to Rutgers. What have they done to fix the problem? That would essentially be your model of success and would count as your paradigm. So your goal is to at least just find one other population that's similar to yours, and just see what they've been doing to fix the issue, and you just want to detail it in this section. The last required section here is conclusion, and what you want to do is just draw a couple of conclusions based off of the very brief research that you've done, and you also want to try to think about what you could do for a plan and how much this might cost. It's very vague at this point, and that's okay, so I don't want you to worry. And then the last thing this person did was they had a list of their references. Some of you might only have one article at this point, some of you might have 5 articles at this point, but you just want to jot down any references that you've used. It's important to keep in mind that the white paper assignment is generally a page long. However, sometimes it does go to 2 pages in length. The next thing I want to show you are the cover letter and the resume. Just keep in mind that you have picked out a job posting. If you haven't already, that's something you need to do. You want to pick out a job posting that you are interested in, whether it's an internship or a job posting that you might want when you graduate, and that's what you're going to write the cover letter based off of. There's a lot of directions in the book, so I just want to go over a couple of structural things for the resume and the cover letter that might be useful to you. So I'm going to start with the resume. The resume should be 1-inch margins. It really should not be more than a page. This is a really nice cover letter. It's beautiful. It's aesthetically pleasing. We have the person's name on top. It's centered. We have the address, the phone number, the email. They started with their education. As you can see, their dates are on the right-hand side, and they are all aligned perfectly. They're not staggered. They look nice. This person also had the education section listed first, which is a great way to do it. She also has the GPA and any honors that she's a part of. Then she decided to do relevant coursework. So she has coursework that would be relevant to the internship or job that she's applying for based off of the job posting. If you want, if this starts getting lengthy, you might want to break it into 2 columns, but you don't really want to have more than this. This is plenty, so please keep that in mind. She also has employment and volunteering experience. Once again, all of her dates are aligned to the right. Going down, she also has activities. Once again, dates are all aligned to the right. So you just saw a good-looking resume, very well done. This is an A resume, so please keep that in mind. The last thing I want to show you is the cover letter. Structurally, this is perfect on top. It has the student's address, line break, the date that it's due, line break, the person to whom you're writing, line break, the topic, line break, Dear Dr. Anthony, this person right here, line break, and then it goes right into the cover letter. So please just look at that. That's model structure. It's perfect. I just want to look at a couple of sections of this. Let's look at the first paragraph, just the introduction. And Just so you don't get afraid, the cover letter should only be a page in length. This student's specific job posting asked for a 2-page cover letter, which is why hers is longer. So yours should only be a page. But here's her intro. I am interested in being a member of your research lab regarding the influence of dietary proteins on tissue development. As a nutrition major, I have always believed that the mouth is the gateway to health. Your work distinguishes itself. It examines exactly that. How the foods we eat impact the state of our bodies. Direct, really good. It complements Dr. Anthony, and it goes right into the purpose of her cover letter. I just also want to look at, the body, just a quick note. One thing that you should take note of is that it shows your experience. It doesn't just list it or tell it. So if you're saying, I have experience with customer service, with communicating with patrons, and with, creating daily order sheets or something like that. That's bad because you're not actually showing your experience. You want to make sure that you're showing examples to show your skills. So keep that in mind. And the last thing I want to look at here is the conclusion of her cover letter, and then I will be done with this. So let's just look at this. It would be a privilege to work in your lab. I know that it will be an unequivocal learning experience to work side by side with the much more knowledgeable scientists and researchers in the lab, but I am sure that I will be able to contribute my own skill sets as well. My scientific insight and the technical lab skills that I have cultivated in my classes will be available for the lab's advancement. The prolonged focus that I have developed from working at Kumon and volunteering at RWJ will allow me to provide consistent work for long periods of time. Being a part of your lab will be a give and take of gaining insight and providing assistance to the team. I hope that I will be able to talk to you in person to discuss the position in further detail. The quickest way to contact me, she offers her email, her phone number. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, and then there would be a signature here, Jane Doe enclosure. So hopefully that was helpful for you. I will post an announcement that describes all of the due dates and things like that, but I am granting you an extension for the resume and the cover letter, which will now be due on Friday, June 10th.